In today's episode of Today in World War II, March 29th, the Royal Aircraft Carrier Eagle delivers seven badly needed Spitfire fighters to reinforce Malta. New Zealand troops capture an important town in Tunisia. Soviet troops enter Czechoslovakian province of Ruthenia, and so the Soviets cross important rivers in Czechoslovakia into Austria. Let's get started. All right, so today we're going to continue talking about Malta. On March 29th, 1942, the Royal Navy aircraft carrier HMS Eagle delivered seven Spitfire fighters to Malta. Now, you may not think this a big deal. Okay, well, seven Spitfire fighter pilots, or excuse me, pilots and fighters. It's like, well, who cares, right? That's nothing. It meant a lot. Every single Spitfire meant a lot. At this point in time, the Germans are attacking incessantly, and the Italians, but of course, you've got an elite Flieger Corps of Stukas and Me 109s and Heinkel 111s, and their whole goal is to take out Malta. Can't sink it, like Kesslering said, it's an island, but they wanted to reduce the or eliminate Malta as a working base because they would wear it down, so there'd be no more. That would be untenable, put it that way. Okay. Well, every single Spitfire that was delivered to the island meant they could last a few days longer. And so seven Spitfire, excuse me, I'm sorry, seven Spitfire fighters and their pilots was a huge boost for them. So this is going to be this way for a while. 42 was one of the hardest years. I mean, 41 was bad. 42 was also very, very bad until the Brits were able to get enough planes and supplies in. And frankly, Hitler eventually, you'll see in this video chronicle as we move forward, he calls off the main part. He transfers the Fleet Corps back to Russia, so that gives him some respite. But still, right now, they're still in their world of hurt. Okay, on March 29th, 1943, the British Army is continuing to push the Germans north of the Mareth line. Yesterday, we talked about the fact the Brits start, excuse me, the Germans started withdrawing from the Mareth line to their last defense line in Tunisia before the two major ports, Tunis and Bizerte. And today's date, New Zealand troops captured Gabes, Tunisia, and the Axis troops evacuated out of El Hama. These are cities they'd held for a few months, and now they're being forced out. So the slow vice-like grip of the Allied attack against Tunisia, the Afrika Korps, is winding to a close. We still got a little while to go, but it's happening. On March 29th, 1945, the Red Army, Soviet troops entered the former Czechoslovakian progress of Ruthenia. Now, this is more of the central thrust of the Soviet attack, and so this is heading right towards the heart of the Reich, which Hitler's hometown, not that far away. Speaking of which, on March 29th, 20, excuse me, speaking of which, on March 29th, 1945, Soviet troops, we know they're in Czechoslovakia. They crossed two important rivers, the Hron and Nitra rivers in Czechoslovakia, and this allowed them to make their first entry into occupied Austria, near Hungary. And at this date, they're only 50 miles away from Vienna. So when you're getting close to the former capital of the Habsburg Empire and Hitler's birthplace, a hugely important city in the German Reich in the south, things are getting really dicey. And we're at March 29th, 1945. Effectively most fighting ended around the end of May, or excuse me, not end of May, end of April. So you can see how just a matter of days. So thank you for watching this very short video. I will talk to you tomorrow.